Hey everyone, my name is August Moazzo, owner of Clients.io. Wanted to give some good tips, good information on how you can scale your business brokerage. There's a series that I'll be creating and putting out over time about the different things, different tips I have about doing this. But one of the big ones I want to start with is just how to scale your business is just knowing your numbers. Okay. Now, what does that mean? So numbers you need to know is very, very important. When we look at marketing as a whole, now a lot of business brokers don't necessarily do a lot of marketing, they do a lot of referral based stuff. If you're looking to scale your business, you can't scale it on just referrals. You cannot scale it on referrals or your own sweat to get the job done, to scale your business to 15, 20, 25 listings and do 10 to 15 closes a year. Now, if you're in business for 20 to 25 years, maybe you can get to the point where you're getting that many referrals over and over again. But think about it. You don't just get those referrals by doing nothing. You have to do continuous activity. You have to continuously keep yourself busy, going to events, meeting new people, working your sphere of influence over and over again to get squeeze out all these referrals. And ultimately, if you're working a lot of deals, if you have 10 or 15 deals that you're working on, you'll start to not have the time to go to these events and get everything done. What I've found is a lot of business brokers go on this roller coaster where they get a bunch of opportunities and then they work them, they forget about everything else, and then those deals either close and they make a bunch of money or they fall through and then they have nothing left in their pipeline just because they haven't taken the time to continue to build their pipeline even while they were busy. So in order to scale your business, you need to be able to do marketing outside of your referrals because the first thing that goes when you get busy is the referrals coming in. You must leverage marketing to find more opportunities. Primarily online marketing is the best way to do it without having you spend a lot of extra time personally trying to find more leads. Now, what numbers do you need to know when it comes to marketing to really scale your brokerage? You want to know these numbers. The first one is, what's your cost per listing appointment? So obviously the step before this is cost per lead. In your situation, the first indication of an opportunity is when you're talking to a business owner on an appointment, right? So talking to them about their business and whether or not they're ready to sell, what they need to work on, where's their business at currently, etc. All of the above, right? Just getting on that listing appointment, how much does it cost you? Now, if you're doing referrals, if you're getting all your business based off referrals, you probably don't know this answer because it's all based off your time and energy. And unless you calculate the cost, what's your hourly wage, quote unquote, that you make based off how much you're making per year, you don't know this. And honestly, I think that that's probably the best way to start is how much you made last year divided by how much time you worked, and then do the calculation to figure out what is your hourly wage based off of how much money you made last year. Ultimately, when it comes to marketing, it's a lot easier to figure out what the cost per listing appointment is. You run some ads, you do some marketing, and you see, hey, I spent $1,000. I got I got 5 appointments out of it. And so it's $200 per appointment. That's the first thing you need to know. You need to understand your cost per listing appointment. The second one is cost to acquire a listing. How much does it cost you to get a listing? If you were to pay money, how much would it be for you to acquire a listing? Again, when you're doing marketing, it's more easy to understand. If I'm spending $1,000 to get 5 appointments and one of them closes, it's costing me, or one of them lists, it's costing me $1,000 per listing. And then what's your close rate? I think one of the things I actually don't have in here is then the next number you need to understand is really your close rate. I'm looking at it from a cost per a lead and cost per acquisition on this, slide deck I have right here. But you also need to understand what your conversion rate is. Conversion rate is going to be a lot easier for you to calculate because as long as you've done a couple deals in the past, you've listed some businesses, you've closed some businesses, you will know your conversion rate. So ultimately, you'll be able to come up with what's your cost per closed deal. So all the marketing you did, all the marketing you put out to get this appointment that turned into a listing and now it closed, how much did that cost to get that closed deal? What you'll find, especially in the business broker world, almost 99.9% of the time, the cost to get that deal closed, the amount of marketing spend, the amount of time and expenses you had to get that deal closed is is less money than you made as a commission on the closed deal. It's very difficult to spend enough money in marketing to be able to overcome a 50, 60, $70,000 commission check. You would have to spend a ridiculous amount in marketing. And quite honestly, when you're spending that much in marketing, you would get a lot more than just one deal closed. So ultimately, when you're looking to scale, the biggest thing you want to figure out is, how much does it cost me to close a deal? What does it cost? Added up everything. Obviously, some deals are going to fall through. You still did marketing to find those. It's all lumped up. Let's say it costed you $10,000 to close a deal. You did $10,000 worth of marketing to close a deal. Think about it this way. If I said that if you're going after $1 million businesses, let's say your commission is $70,000. If I said, hey, you give me $10,000, I'll give you $70,000 back. And that's just the transaction. Every time you pay me $10,000, I'll give you $70,000 back. How many times would you do that transaction with me? If I paid you $70,000 every time you paid me $10,000, you would probably do it day in and day out, every single day, as much as you possibly could, because that return on investment is massive. Now, when it comes to the business broker world, the return on investment is massive for marketing. Like, you cannot spend enough on marketing to overcome the ROI that you're going to get when you close a deal. So it's extremely important that you need to know your numbers. Once you know your numbers, once you know, hey, it cost me $10,000 to do marketing to make $70,000, this is where a lot of companies, when they have ROIs like that, scale massively. They scale massively because it's the margin of the ROI is so massive that there's no way they can really lose money by scaling so much. Now, when you're talking about a clothing store where the margins are razor thin, yes, it's tough to scale because you hire an employee and now you cut out your whole profitability. But when you're in service business, like, business, being a business broker, your commissions are so much more massive than the amount of marketing dollars you put into it, that investing in marketing is just a necessary action to scale your business. You cannot just scale. You can't just say, hey, I want to get 10 more, 15 more listings next year if you're already a full-time business broker and you didn't get that in the previous year. Like if you're trying to double the amount of listings you get, you have to start investing into marketing, and you should not cheap out on marketing, because ultimately you're going to make an ROI. You might as well spend to get the high quality lead generation service that's going to generate you leads that are going to work, than cheap out, spend like $400 or $500 a month on some overseas company to generate you leads that just are trash. You're going to make the ROI when the deal closes. Is you might as well spend money, invest it with a marketing company that's actually going to work and give you consistent lead flow and can show you results. So that's my 2 cents on the numbers to scale your business. You need to understand these. A lot of brokers do not understand these at all. They've never really calculated them for themselves. But once you have a clarity on, I spend $10,000 to make $70,000, sky is the limit with how much money you can make and how much you can really scale your business.